Hello, 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 Nuclear Dad Gang. I am your host, E.C. McKeever. Welcome back, welcome back. Uh, Today, we're going to get into a topic that I know every man has thought about. Whether you've said it out loud, you've definitely thought it. And it's the fact that we are not psychic, but women want us to be. They expect us to be. They think we are. We are not. That's just a fact of nature. We're not psychic. Yes, every human has a little bit of intuition. Women undoubtedly more than men. Men sometimes ours is situational depending on the type of man you are, the environment you come from. You can read emotional cues, you can read social cues, you may be a little street smart. Some men are just strictly book smart. But it remains a fact of nature that women are way more intuitive than men. Men have a little bit, women have a lot of it. But we are not psychic. You guys expect us to be able to read your mind, know what you're thinking, when you're thinking. When we just went over on the last show that you guys change hormonally every day, every 2 days. So I may have known you yesterday, but today you're a totally different person. You look the same, but I have no idea who you are. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to keep it short. I want to get straight into the science. I'm going to try to knock out a couple shows in one day. We'll see what happens. But I'll give you a little story. Last night, after I finished episode number 4 about the female psychology, I go upstairs, I'm laying down, wife and I, and she mentions a load of laundry that she wants me to take downstairs because it's heavy. Cool, no problem. I said, but I'm tired. She said, yeah, me too. I said, okay, well, how about I just take it down in the morning because we could throw the load in, but it's just going to sit there overnight. So I'll take it down in the morning and we'll knock it out before we leave. Cool. So this morning we wake up, we get dressed, we get the kids ready. I see the load of laundry. I take it downstairs, not because she asked me, but because I remember the conversation from the night prior. I take it downstairs. Now, when I do laundry, excuse me, when I do laundry, I turn on the washer, I put the detergent in, I let it get sudsy, then I add the clothes. That takes about 5 to 7 minutes, right? So I do that. I come back upstairs. I notice my older son still has on his nightshirt. So I say, he doesn't have any uniform shirts for school? And she said, no, I thought that's why you went downstairs. No, I went downstairs because I put the load in that we were talking about last night. What's the point in me taking it down to just leave it there and wait for you to do it when I'm already downstairs? So I put the load in the wash. She said, oh, well, I thought you knew because he had on his nightshirt. I didn't know anything. He could have had a shirt downstairs and you just wanted him to have breakfast real quick and then you would put his school shirt on before we left the house. Sometimes that's what we do. Well, the last time, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, don't put that on me. And this is the point. I said, I don't know what you want if you don't tell me. Don't assume I know anything. If you want me to do something, if you want me to know something, I need you to communicate to me exactly what you want, how you want it, and when you want it. I'm not a mind reader. Now, for some reason, women think that we read palms, we read stars, we read cards, we read tea leaves. We don't do any of those things. We go by what you tell us. Now, if we know you well enough, we can predict some things. Hey, if your time of the month is here, maybe you want your favorite salty snack or something sweet to drink or some candy. We're good at that. Maybe if we're downstairs getting a snack, we may bring you up something cold to drink. We're good at that. Not always, but sometimes. But when it comes to the exact words in your head, we have no idea what you're thinking. And most times, I feel like you might not know what you're thinking. Could be wrong, but I don't know because I don't live in your head. But as we discussed on the last show, they are complicated creatures. So I'm not going to get too much more into it. I want to keep this short, like I said, but it is very confusing sometimes, you complicated creatures. It baffles me. It boggles my mind. It does not make sense whatsoever that women expect men to be some kind of psychic. We're not that. We're just men. Sorry. Love us or hate us. We are what we are. We are who we are. We are what God made us to be. We're men. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But if you want us to do something a certain way, at a certain time, for a certain reason, tell us exactly what it is that you want. The Nuclear Dad Blogcast is sponsored by Family Man Magazine and thenucleardad.com. Family Man Magazine will be available this Father's Day, June 19, 2022. All right, fellas, let's get this thing on the road. I'm going to run through some of this data because we have this lovely, lovely invention called the internet. And the internet has documented loads of information on various subjects since the time of its inception. So we can look at this thing for whatever reason or interest we want to look up or research, and we can get perspective from different people. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, this first article is actually a blog post from the Huffington Post. This is old. This is from 2013, and it's titled "Men Can Read Minds. Get Over It." I'll say it again. Men can't read minds. Get over it. Amazing and healthy relationships happen when both people get to win. When both people get to feel great, supported, and more importantly, loved. By Kara Sabin, contributor. If you want a psychic, go hire one. Facts. If you want an awesome relationship, you create one. Facts on facts. One of the best ways to start creating that relationship is by letting people in on what is going on in our heads. She's talking to women. By letting them in on the weird and wacky world that exists in there. Stop pretending it isn't. You and I both know it is. That's right, women. As a life coach, she's like, I'm a life coach too. Here we go. As a life coach, I've seen this trend lately where we believe someone loves us more if they can figure out what we're thinking at all times. No, they don't love you more. That they know instantly when we're happy, upset, frustrated, excited, disappointed, etc. And more importantly, they understand why we are feeling these emotions because they just get us. What? Who told you that crap? If you know who did, take away their wine for a week and send them to bed without their supper. Reality check. People do not show their love by randomly guessing correctly what is going on in that very, very complicated place we call our brain. They show love by asking questions, listening, supporting, and learning about who we are. I don't know about you, but I could be thinking about Louis C.K. 1 second, and then the kitten video I watched that morning the next. I mean, literally, the next second. It's all connected in my head. But why would I expect anyone else to keep up? Aren't they also trying to make a living, be a functional human being, and deal with all of their own stuff in the process? Ain't nobody got time for that. When we make them guess or put these wackadoo expectations on them, it's not them who is letting you down by not guessing correctly. It's you who is letting them down for making them guess. Playing games, pushing them when they don't know, making them feel like a lesser person in a relationship because they can't read your mind. That is just setting them up for failure. And why would you want the most important person in your life to fail? How is that creating an incredible, lasting relationship? Amazing and healthy relationships happen when both people get to win, when both people feel great, supported, and more importantly, loved. Every move you make should be working towards asking questions, really listening to answers, and understanding each other. So, why is it that when someone asks you what's wrong, you tell them you're fine? Just tell them what's wrong. If you're interested, let them know. Most times, they need you to not be subtle. If you're having a bad day, explain it to them. Then they can know it's not about them and they can learn how to support you. If you have expectations about something, share them. When you can talk about what you want or need, then they can actually try to step up to reach your expectations or help figure out what they can do for the both of you. See? Win-win. At the end of the day, most importantly, you just want to let them in, no matter how scary it is. You may be shocked at how amazing they can be once you actually let them. That was a woman talking to women. Ladies, if you're listening to this, the point remains the same. We're not psychic. Here's another quick article from SeattlePI.com, or maybe Seattle Pie. I don't know. It's from 2010, 12 years ago. So this conversation has been going on for a long time. It's titled, "Why Do Women Expect Men to Be Mind Readers?" ? And the writer's name is Carolyn Hacks. Someone writes in, "Dear Carolyn, why do women expect men to be mind readers? My wife has been grousing around lately. She finally erupted. Just once, I like to come home and find you made the salad for dinner. You want a salad? Call, text, email. It's yours." To which she replied, those killer words, "I shouldn't have to." It's the same with gifts. She won't tell me what she wants except jewelry is always nice. But she never wears the jewelry I buy her. It doesn't go with her outfits. I know this is a Mars-Venus question, but we're all educated professional people. All I ask is that she tell me what she wants, and she expects me to read her mind. Wait a minute, because I'm getting off subject. This is a song by Dru Hill. I was trying to find it to throw it in here. And in the clip that's on there, it doesn't have the chorus in it. But I'm going to do a blog post about this on thenucleardad.com. And it's going to be the shortest blog post ever. It's going to be the lyrics from the Dru Hill song that go, "Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me if it ain't good enough for you, baby. Tell me." That's all we want is for you to tell us. I don't think I need to go on anymore with this article, because this is basically I'm going to be emphasizing what I'm already saying through this man's words. He's having issues with his wife. I'll tell you another story of my own, instead of reading what's going on here. Last night, again, after I finished recording the blog post before the laundry incident, I came upstairs and my wife she said something about an errand. I could tell you two stories actually. She said something about an errand that she had to run today. And I said, "Okay, what errand?" She said, "I had to go over to the so-and-so place by so-and-so time." And I was like, "No, I didn't know about that." She was like, "I didn't tell you that?" I said, "No." She said, "Maybe I thought it. I thought it to you." This is her exact words. "I thought it to you. And I thought you read my mind because we're psychic, because you love me and we know each other and you get me." I know she was joking, but she wasn't. She really thought that we are very telepathic. And at times, couples can be. You can finish each other's sentences. You have nonverbal communication. Let's say you're at a place where you don't want to be, maybe at a family get together, maybe talking to some neighbors, and one of you gives each other the look, and you're like, oh, you know what, baby? It's almost 6:00. We gotta go. Oh yeah, that's right. And they chime in because you get each other, you get those cues. But this isn't the case. How am I supposed to know you have an errand to run and you have to be on the other side of town, actually outside of the city, at whatever time, because you thought it to me? Love her to death, but this is how they think, gentlemen. Ladies, if you're listening, you know I'm right. And then another time, I went upstairs. She was laid out watching TV on the bed, half dead because she works nights. So it was a day off, so she was half dead. But I think I had some water or something like that. And she was like, you didn't bring me anything to drink? I said, no. You want some of my water? No. I want something sweet, as she says to me in her half-dead voice. I want something sweet to drink. I don't want water. Well, you must not be thirsty, is what I thought. I didn't say it out loud, but you must not be thirsty. Well, you should have just brought me something. I didn't even know if you were awake. What if you're unconscious and I bring you something to drink and it just sits there? And then the cup sweats and we get that little ring on the cup. Whatever. Frustrating. Love them to death. But, again, complicated creatures. Let's bounce to this next article. See if we can keep this thing under 30 minutes, or at least under 45 minutes. I know people have busy lives. TheThoughtCatalog.com from 2017. Dear ladies, men are not mind readers and communication is a two-way street. We are not wired that way. When we send you a friendly, open-ended message and your response is okay, or okay, or okay, or when you take unusually long to reply, we know that you're pissed about something. But what you're pissed about, we have no idea. Did we say something insensitive? Did Kelly comment on our Instagram picture? Did we forget to take out the trash? Are we getting complacent? Did we forget your birthday? Just kidding. We deserve a one-word response if we forgot your special day. Similarly, when we try to have a conversation with you and you give us the silent treatment, we'll definitely know that we're in the doghouse. So we'll retrace our steps like we're looking for lost keys. We'll jog our memory like we forgot our email password. But at the end of the day, we still don't know where we went wrong because we don't read minds. So we'll just listen patiently until you firmly say, you know, it's funny how. And you know what comes next, fellas? Ladies, trust me, most of the times, we don't have the slightest clue about what's going on. We're not trying to be difficult. We are just simply clueless. Maybe we could be more observant. I agree. We could be a little more observant at times. Or maybe we could be more proactive. Or maybe we could be more considerate. But we do make mistakes. And we need you to address those errors by communicating with us. We do not read minds. The truth is, you often criticize us for not communicating in our relationships, and generally speaking, we do fall short in this department sometimes. But when you're upset about something and you don't express yourself, you're just as guilty as we are. So if you have a problem, it will be great to let us know what's on your mind. We're not saying that you need to be nice about it, but you do need to let us know. Being silent is not going to solve the problem. We want you to communicate with us more in a relationship, just like you demanded of us. If you want to do something fun, let us know. Don't drop subtle hints. And don't get upset or feel disappointed when we don't pick up on the clues. We know that we should take the initiative and make plans, but if for some reason we forget or we get complacent or distracted with responsibilities, we want you to help us. We're in this thing together. When we're really into you, we'll want to improve our relationship. We'll want to keep the sparks alive and we'll want to make you happy. We're not going to be bothered by complaints or criticism. Don't mistake us for men who are looking for a fling. They will get annoyed. We may not necessarily like your tone if you're pissed, but we'll appreciate the openness and keep working on our relationship. And of course, it's not going to be smooth sailing, but we acknowledge all of our errors and move in the right direction. So if you have to facilitate this process by communicating it with us, even if you're upset, just do it. And ladies, communication is a two-way street. And in the same way that you want us to be more expressive and open up in the relationship more, we want you to let us know what's on your mind. And we don't want you to hoard information and use it at a later date. We want to know what the problem is as soon as they occur. And we want to do the fun things when you're in the mood, not belatedly. So let's make this happen. And this person made a great point. It's okay when you're upset and you say, I'm fine, but we know you're not fine. That is called lack of communication or miscommunication. But on the catch-22, the flip side, when we don't express ourselves, when we stay closed off, you get upset. But you guys are guilty of the same thing sometimes, right? It's a two-way street, like that gentleman said. And this is going to lead us to our next song, because this is the point. Sometimes, women, you need to practice what you preach. All right, guys. Yes, that was Practice What You Preach by the late, great Barry White. I'm going to jump into one last article because I feel like this topic is redundant, but it needs to be addressed. We need to brush over it real quick just to add a little emphasis, because fellas, I want you to know that it's not just you. Sometimes these complicated creatures, I'm going to keep calling them that, and I'm going to keep calling us dangerous. Got to be dangerous, fellas. Anytime you got to subdue a wild animal, women are not going to like this. But it's okay. We still love you, right? Like I said, we're gonna poke the bear. We're gonna make fun, but we're not gonna bash. And you know you do this, so you shouldn't get upset. Now, this last article is from the EliteDaily.com in the dating section. It applies for people who are dating or people who are married. It says, "Talk to me when you're not fine. I'm just a guy, not a mind reader." It's written by a man named Dan Scotty, and this is from 2015. In my opinion, there are 3 things required for any romantic relationship to last. The first is trust. Trust is the foundation. Without trust, you'll never be able to get anywhere with another person. Trust translates to a sense of security, and without one of those, you'll never truly be able to feel comfortable. The second is a physical connection. Chemistry between the sheets can solve a lot of the petty problems you might face outside of the bedroom. Mind you, body language is more of a romance language than French or Italian could ever be. So, at times when words seem to be at a premium, you'll always be able to compensate in other ways. At last, but certainly not least, the third thing necessary for any successful relationship is communication. Verbal communication, in order to get what you want out of a relationship or life in general, is important to be able to articulate properly first. No matter how well you think you know, take it from me, they can't read your mind. And this is especially pertinent with respect to your significant other. When people start spending a lot of your time around another person, it's only natural to build up a type of rapport that doesn't require words. I just talked about that. For instance, let's say you're out to lunch with your significant other and he or she gives you a certain look. I'm sure you know exactly what that means. Just talked about that. But still, Even if you and your significant other have reached a point in your relationship where you can read each other like a book, it is important to maintain sound levels of communication and not take it for granted. A lot of times, people get blindsided by the person they feel they're most comfortable around because they become complacent about things like this. Communicating properly isn't always the easy road, but with respect to your relationship, it will pay dividends down the road, and it will require effort along the way. Sound communication requires conversations and asking questions, and having the answers to these questions. But most importantly, communication requires listening. And I can't help but get the feeling that most women feel that men are incapable of listening. In response, this leads to miscommunications because women don't feel fully comfortable expressing how they feel. Ladies, if there is something you're not happy with, be vocal about it, because if you're expecting us to be able to fix it, take it from me, we're not mind readers. When you suspect that I'm angry, ask me what's wrong. When you think I'm being an a-hole, call me out. When you're tempted to talk to your friends about the crappy thing I did, talk to me instead. When you want to hang out, just ask. When you suspect I'm doing something wrong, confront me. When you want some time alone, let me know before you just disappear. When you want to move to the next step in our relationship, don't hold it in. Don't hold it in. But this is more for dating people, but the same goes with married couples, right? Ladies, if you want to take something to the next level, whatever it may be, you want to close the joint bank account, you want to invest in something, you want to divest in something, whatever. You want to take something to a new level, a new stage, don't hold it in, because then you're going to resent us. When you want me to be more affectionate, tell me. And yes and no. Sometimes, fellas, you just gotta do that. Like, this is for people, they're still walking along the razor's edge, like, from the movie Scarface, right? Whatever that song was. But they don't want to do too much. They don't want to be overly mushy. Man, that's your wife. Go and give her some hugs. And if you lay next to her, she put that booty on you, you already know what that means. So don't play dumb. Might not mean something's gonna jump off, but she definitely wants some cuddles. That ain't for warmth. When you hate the world, don't close yourself off to me. This guy made some good points. And there's other things in between. I'm not gonna read because I think you get the point. Because I feel like if we go any further, it's gonna feel like I'm bashing the women. Not what I'm doing. That's not what we do here. We love you, crazy, complicated creatures. But in the process of all of this love learning and love making and love language, it makes us crazy. And that's one of the reasons why we stick around, because you can only get that kind of response out of somebody that you truly care about. Men generally are emotionally reserved. We're cut off from a lot. So if something can get a rise out of us, it's either something we really love or something we really hate. And if we really hate you, we wouldn't be in the same house together. We may get frustrated. We may be at our wit's end. We may go bald early or gray. But it's all worth it. It's all part of the game. We're in it together. But it is a fact. You make us crazy. So with that being said, gentlemen, you know what you got to do. Stay focused. Stay vigilant. Stay on your mission. Stay the course. And most importantly, stay cool. The Nuclear Dad Blogcast is sponsored by Family Man Magazine and thenucleardad.com. Family Man Magazine will be available this Father's Day, June 19, 2022.